Hi there, it's Kamilah Rose with the Bliss Institute, and I know it hasn't been that long. Look at me, look at me. We are here today for the full moon in Capricorn reading. I think I'm just going to do a general reading and see what comes up, and then I'll see how I feel throughout the week and see then if I want to do a reading per sign. So we'll see how that ends up going. But so far, let's see what's going on. We have a full moon coming up in Capricorn while we are in Cancer season. And this is bringing to light how we work the energy of cardinal water and cardinal earth. So these are oppositional signs. So they are opposing each other in the zodiac, the Western zodiac. They sit right across from each other. Oh, we got the Five of Cups. As you'll remember, if you look through the readings for the signs and the general reading for this season, we had a lot of Four of Cups energy. So we're doing a lot of emotional work and a lot of emotional excavation. So kind of going within and seeing what's going on, about what are things that we might see that we regret, what are things that we wish we had done differently, what it is that we're interested in pursuing now, with that information and this self-analysis. And this Five of Cups energy is really kind of highlighting that there are a lot of things that we really might be focusing on about kind of what we wished had happened. As you can see, cups behind them. And that always symbolizes to me that there is still hope, there's still possibilities. It's just that we may not be as focused on them right now. We're focusing a little bit more on what are the things that we've done, and the experience that we've had that we regret, or that we just have maybe not the best feelings about. So it's kind of about how we're orienting ourselves. This Three of Wands, we have made plans. So we've addressed some of these things and we're trying to move forward in seeing how do we get not past, but through. How do we work with this energy? How can we utilize this for our benefit? And that's really important. That's really important to take a moment of reflection. And we should always be reflecting on what was and what we would like to be in the future without staying there, because those two cups behind this individual is really important in voicing and vocalizing that, yes, there are always things that we could have done differently. There's always ways that things could have worked out, maybe perhaps more in our benefit, but we shouldn't dwell on that so much, because it makes us stay stuck in that feeling, in that emotion, in that experience, and then we're unable to move forward in things. So in making these plans and understanding that we would like to advance, we would like to move forward, this is really helpful for us, and we need to find ways to express this. We need to find ways to express, to have clarity in our minds in a way that we can speak up about what it is that we have experienced and also what it is we would like to experience. Cancer season, particularly when looking at we got the Sun card reversed. So we're not feeling like we're being seen. We're not feeling like we're being given maybe opportunities that we would like to. Perhaps folks are feeling like they've been passed over, or that their time in the sun has dwindled. And sometimes when you speak up on things that maybe people don't want to hear, it receives a negative reception. Five of Swords. We are experiencing a lot of conflicting. Cognitive dissonance has been really rampant for probably the last 4 years. I do think that it's part of the energy of Neptune in Pisces, is that it's making it so that we're not as clearly able to articulate, to experience the world around us. Things just seem fuzzy. And with this news of, and it's not unusual, but it's catching headlines, with the dust from the Sahara drifting over to the US, like there's a literal fogginess and difficulty in seeing what's ahead of us that's going on. And we're experiencing that intellectually, we're experiencing that spiritually, we're experiencing that kind of daze in all of our areas. And so having this conflict within is really bringing us to a space where we really have to be mindful and contemplative. So this is a good time to do some work around journaling, around poetry, creative endeavors. A great time to really channel this energy in some way that feels even remotely supportive. For one, because we find that although, yes, we may be in a Five of Cups energy overall, that it's always a point of leading to the next step. It's cycles, just lots of cycles, lots of patterns. And we talk about breaking cycles, breaking generational curses and things like that. But in all, we're really shifting energy from one outcome or one circumstance into another. And so something that, you're thinking of breaking a generational curse in order to create a generational blessing, something that goes on and on and on, that has a positive impact, long-term impact on your family and yourself. Well, when we're thinking about what we have experienced and what we could experience, it's in taking the lessons from the spilled cups in order to be able to create possibly a new experience in the cups that remain. And so how do we go about that? We make new plans. We voice our concerns and we get clear on our thoughts and how we express them. We understand that perhaps we will be seen in a different light. People won't know us how they used to know us. And perhaps even your shift will cause some people not to align with you in the same way. And that this might be something that may be mentally taxing. You're thinking, okay, was it worth it? Did I lose too much? Did I give up too much? Was this a battle that had to be fought? But in the end, we see that those 2 cups that we found were left were just the tip of the amount of blessings and ability. My cat's here. He's here as usual. Say hello. This is Rue. I've never introduced Rue. This is Rue. His name is Rue. He's named after Neteru, Egyptian understanding of God. And so, he lives up to his name. But that we have so much available to us, and that sometimes we do have to let the cup spill. We have to let the cup spill to clean out what isn't necessary, to clear out what's kind of just been taking up space. And it's good sometimes to let those cups spill, because would you want to have a table with cups full of poison? Probably not. Probably not. You'd probably want to have cups that are full of joy and laughter. So if you have a lot of cups that are filled with pain and filled with regrets and things like that, maybe it's okay to let those cups spill to be refilled with something new and something that perhaps is more desirable, but that we're always open and aware of the fact that those cups might become filled with something that is not desirable, and that's kind of the game, I guess you could say, of life. Let's see if we can get an outcome card. Ooh, that was fast. Ooh, 9 of Swords. There's just so much going on, and it just makes it so difficult, I think, sometimes for us to really be able to find this space of peace. It seems like folks really want to. There's been a lot of rhetoric and dialogue around going back to normal. People are like, well, when are we going to get back to normal? When are things going to go back to how they used to be, where I didn't have to worry about so much going on and all the topics that are being brought up. And I think that's a sentiment that makes a lot of sense, because when we're experiencing a lot of change at the same time, of course, we're looking for a form of stability, and it can lead to a lot of mental overwhelm and mental taxation. But I think it's also really important to be aware that the idea of a norm, of a regular life, of those things is not really real. That life is always changing, and that things are always flowing, and that what can be the norm for one may not be the norm for others, and that we have to really be mindful and aware of this, in that sometimes a norm has to change to improve things overall for everyone, and that shift just means that you're getting used had to move all together. So what this norm is signaling is that in all actuality, when we experience this change, we have to adjust, and that it's time to shift, and that there can be a new normal, and that this new normal can be something that will eventually feel just as we'll be as used to it as we were to how things were. And it's an adjustment period. Think about when you learn something new, when you learn a new skill, when you take a new class. At first, it's really uncomfortable, and it's really it takes a lot of your energy, it takes a lot of your time, it takes a lot of your concentration, because it's new and your brain's not used to it, your body's not used to it, you haven't built up the memory of it. And so right now we're building a new world, we're building a new society, so it's going to be uncomfortable, it's going to take a lot of mental energy, it's going to take a lot of time and reflection. It's going to take a lot of honest joy, finding joy in things, finding ways to care for yourself, to care for your community, and realizing that you're not alone, and that things aren't awful dumpster fires all the time, that you can speak up, and that you can be heard, and that although you still might feel overwhelmed and overtaxed, that you can you can come and bring something from this. I don't think that this is necessarily going to be the easiest time. The full moon is on the 4th of July. There's a lot of oppositional energy going on between Capricorn and Cancer, and that might have an impact on how people feel and how people are reacting and acting. And although Cancer is thought of as a very nurturing feeling, it is the energy of the ocean. It is the energy of water, and water, like all elements, it's not as gentle and loving and caring, and it's the mother energy that we think of. Like, all mothers aren't great. Mothering energy isn't necessarily this super positive thing. There are harsher aspects to all things, and so Cancer season can come with a bite, especially if there are things related to your home life and your family, your inheritance, your lineage and ancestors that maybe you don't dwell or gel so well with. So again, those things that you're thinking of, things that maybe you're not so proud of, it brings those up. It brings them to the forefront to be addressed, to be seen. And then we have Capricorn energy, which is about our great purpose. It is about our work that we've come here to this time to do. And a lot of that is about healing and addressing these things that have happened over the generations and over time as a whole. And so, like, these energies and how they approach them, cardinal water versus cardinal earth, they can work together. And that one is in doing the work. It is the practical side. It is to changing the behaviors and the habits to create the world you want. And in two, you have the doing the emotional work to clear and to connect with the emotions that lead to our actions. All of these things are connected. Between these three energies, they're in each sign, and that's because we experience these energies and these elements in all of these different ways. And so just as fire sign cardinal energy of Aries in the springtime breaks us out of that shell for new growth, water energy for summer brings us out of that emotional kind of atrophy, that emotional space where maybe we've just kind of shut down because we don't want to feel, because things are too much. We've done all this work in the springtime, and it's like, but your feelings drive your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. They're all tied together. And so we have to address these on different counts, which is why we have this happening in different spheres. And this is going to be a full moon of a lot of emotional work. But we can do it. We're here for it. Alright, so go ahead and comment down below on if you have any plans for this full moon. Go ahead and let me know what you think of the reading. Like this video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all later. Have a great one. Bye.